Hi everyone, this is Jen from Circle of Besties. I'm back. It's been a bit, but I thought I'd put a few recordings together to get them out on YouTube and announce that I am ready to start with my lives again. I'll be posting content, and I'm also doing readings in person or online if you are not in Connecticut or close to Connecticut. But in honor of my return to YouTube readings, I purchased a tarot deck that's themed with the Wicked movie, and it's so cool. But I have such a crap camera. I think I'm hurting its feelings because it just gets worse and worse the more I record. So I promise to have a better camera so you can see these cool cards that I have. Pretty happy with them. The stock isn't the best, but but the art and the box on the inside is cool. The guidebook is cool. The theming is a little confusing, but I figured it out, and I'll explain it as we go. And I'm just trying to start everything in an upright position. I just did a reading, which came out really well. Like, it's a very inspiring reading. I'm hoping it comes true. But I just thought I'd do a shorter one. Another announcement about what I've been up to. So I built a house, moved. So since I saw you last, it was with my mother-in-law while we were building the house, and we're in the same neighborhood as her. So I'm just thrilled to be, back home in a sense. My grandfather was a builder, so he built the neighborhood I'm in. I grew up here, and my mother-in-law is a couple houses down, and I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. I won't sing, but that's a wicked song. So I'm trying to keep with the theme here, but yeah, so far so good. All right, I pulled out 3 cards, and I'm going to clarify them, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card. I have a new deck of cards, so at Let's Get Wired, where I work, here and there, Main Street, Stafford's Crystal Shop. If you are in the area, please check it out. You can also shop online if you want to check it out online. It's a very cool store. But yeah, they have a tarot exchange, like a book. They have a free library where you bring books and you can exchange for the ones that are there. Same thing with tarot decks and oracle decks. So I brought a tarot deck that I just never really connected with. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but I just never really connected with it. So I brought that in, and I got an oracle deck, and I got the Moonology cards, the oracle cards, and I've always wanted them. They're probably one of the first oracle decks I learned about when I started reading tarot again, and I'm just so excited to learn them, as well as this new Wicked deck. All right, so the world is our overall energy, so it doesn't get better than that. It means like life cycles, life lessons, completion, really being able to move forward in your own power. Yeah, so good stuff. So I have the Ace of Yellow Bricks, which is the Ace of Swords. So this could be communications that are coming in. It could be a new idea, could be new thought patterns, new ways of communicating, talking to yourself. But like a new opportunity. So it could be, like I said, you could be invited verbally to something. You could receive a communication. You could create a communication. You can have a job in communications or technology. Could be AI. That's a more modern interpretation. But the Ace of Yellow Bricks is, definitely a new way of thinking about things, a new way of viewing things, a new way of strategizing things. Any ace is always a new beginning. And clarifying that new beginning is the sun. So having the sun as a major arcana in your reading, clarifying anything immediately makes it a positive meaning for the reading, the overall reading itself. So where there might be a little bit of, like guidance or say, like if the reading is warning, not a warning, but if the reading is saying to be careful around certain things, the sun sort of negates any sort of worry within a reading. So everything's positive, which is fantastic. So our middle row is, and then we can also look at this as past, present, future. So if this is a past, then let's say you had an idea, a new an opportunity arrived. You took it at face value. It could also mean taking something literally, like giving it a go, but just sort of like investing in it as it was, not bringing anything, not romanticizing the situation, just stepping forward with an open mind, and the sun, clarifying that would suggest that everything looked good and looked like a fit. The overall energy being the world, this would suggest that the reading itself is about your life, your material life here on earth, your family, like everything that the lessons you've learned, the education that you've accrued, any large life lesson to bring you to the person that you are today is encompassed by the world. So if we're talking about a past, present, and future situation in this reading, then we would say that you approach the situation as it was, objectively, with good intentions. It seemed like everything would be good, it would work out, and that's how you push forward. Justice is another major arcana. So you've got the sun and justice and the world you already have 3 major arcanas in this reading. So that just suggests large, big energies that are fated and really have to do with what's meant for you as a soul. So justice could be, you could be managing paperwork, managing a lot of contracts. It has to deal with fairness. It could be legal issues. It could be, just basically like just managing things to a point where, there's again another objectivity card. So you have to handle things by the book, black and white. There's not a lot of, again, creativity or personalization with the Justice card. So I'm thinking that, this opportunity at face value, you might be a creative soul, but there's limits placed on what you are allowed to do. Maybe, where if you were I just built a house. So, but we came into the situation after it had already started and it was a spec house. So, we weren't allowed to pick the floor plan. We weren't allowed to, we could customize it as much as the contract on a spec house allowed us to, or as much as the builder allowed us to, but he was legally covered in a lot of ways. And there were a lot of things legally we weren't allowed to, have a say in. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can feel like sort of like confined within the rules of what you, what you entered into happily earlier on, but now you might be feeling a little restricted or a little just like bound by the rules. And you're maybe yearning for something that is a little bit more creative. So you have the 2 of yellow bricks. So that's like in the succession of the past, present. 2 of yellow bricks is entering a crossroads. You're sort of like torn. You have to make a decision. In the last reading, we had the lovers, which was the choice. So it's like I'm getting a similar message where, you're going to have to make a decision and, you just have to really weigh, everything, you have to really think out all the details, because if the overall energy is the world, the decision that you make could affect everything in your orbit. So you really have to know yourself well. You have to think about all the people in your life that would be affected by this decision that you need to make. and be sure that it's a fair decision, that, again, still suits, your needs. But at the same time, I guess it's just that scratches that itch that, you might need outside of, the outside the lines of what's, sort of the rules. Okay. So if you're feeling like held back, you need to know why, like, you as a person, what you're feeling, like why you feel held back, and like what you need to do to fix it. So even if that fix isn't possible, you have to know why you want. When you're at a crossroads and you might make a change, you have to, I guess, be sure about the change you're going to make, at least like knowing how it makes you feel, in order to, take a new direction, go in a new direction. So the Hermit, here's another major arcana. Okay, I don't know, I didn't look all the way over to the right. So we got 4 major arcana. So this is big energy. This is a big decision. This is something that's coming in, soon, that's going to really change the way you do life. It's going to affect everyone around you. And the Hermit is someone who's a soul searcher. So just what I said before with the 2 yellow bricks, you're at a crossroads. You need to make a decision. You really have to go, deep and ask yourself, and soul search, what is going to make the difference? What is going to make me happier? Then, what am I missing? What's the void? Like, you really have to define that for yourself before you move forward. And the Queen of Yellow Bricks is we have a lot of bricks, like the minor arcana are all bricks, which means objectivity, communications, using your intuition, being strategic, looking at things in a fair way and without romanticizing things. So, you're still using your ability to, meet something where it is, understand how it will work for you, be positive, be hopeful. But a queen is a royal, and they have a lot of experience, and they understand their mind. They understand their stressors. They know their strengths, their weaknesses. They know, they understand, what drives them, and like what makes them happy and what makes them unhappy. So, they're not going to do it in a super showy way, but they do understand how to move forward in a way that's right for them. And they also understand that a decision and a big change, they're going to understand how it will affect everyone in their life. How it'll, hopefully they'll hope that, they're making a decision that's right for themselves, but first what they'll do is they'll say, okay, if I were to make decision A, they'll analyze it. They're going to say, this is, this could be a potential outcome for if I were to choose A. And then they would do the same for B and C, or however many options there were. But, they would trust their gut instincts and their intuition to understand truly, what would be the best option for them, their soul, and their happiness going forward. But, they're not going to just jump blindly into a decision, into a life change without like understanding all the data around how it might work out for them. So, okay, I'll end this here. I'm hoping that this resonates for you. If you have any questions or want to contact me or tell us a story about why this does apply, please put them in the comments and I'll bring them up on the next live. I'm sorry my camera's so crappy. This tarot deck is from the new movies Wicked and Wicked for Good. There's scenes from the movies, and the art is the characters from those movies. So it's really cute. So I can't wait to have a better camera so we can really like hold these up to the camera and show you the details. But the world is Oz. The Ace of Yellow Bricks is when Elphaba, when she I hope I don't ruin the movie for anyone, but it's where she hides after she pretends to be melted. The sun is Galinda with her 2 besties that follow her around and work for her later in the movies. Justice is the winged monkeys. The Hermit is the lion cub from the first movie before he becomes the Cowardly Lion later in the second movie. Two of Yellow Bricks is Professor, is it Professor Dilly? I forget his name. Well, the professor, the goat professor in the first, when they're in the first movie where they're all the animal professors are talking and they're making plans to leave Oz, and then they're captured, or some of them are. You see them in cages later in the second movie. And then the Queen of Yellow Bricks is Madame Horrible. So very, very cute deck. Highly recommend it, and especially if you love the story, it'll actually help you with your reading. Another reason why I'm saying, so the Ace of Yellow Bricks being that this was the strategy that they had in order to create an entirely new life for her and Fiyero after he becomes the Scarecrow. And it was actually masterminded by Fiyero and the captain head of the Flying Monkeys. So that's how I was able to put together the storyline for this reading. It's saying, know what drives you, know what doesn't fit, what you think might, and strategize the heck out of it until it becomes yours. And with the sun being part of your reading, it's going to turn out okay. It'll be positive. So, all right, best wishes, and I'll see you more on the channel with a better camera. I promise. Take care.